Chinese President Xi Jinping will attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Astana and pay state visit to Kazakhstan and Tajikistan. Celebrations are held in Hong Kong to mark the 27th anniversary of its return to China.
The digital economy, finance, free trade, transportation, and energy. Today, we discuss the highly anticipated 2024 summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, set to take place in the capital of Kazakhstan, Astana, on July the 3rd and 4th, under the theme Strengthening Multilateral Dialogue, Striving for Sustainable Peace and Development. Now, to explore how this cooperation can be further enhanced, we are honored to have with us in our Beijing studio Mr. Xu Wenhong, a researcher at the Institute of Russian, East European and Central Asian Studies of the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. And additionally, we look forward to sharing our insights and ideas with our colleagues at the Silkway TV studio and their expert guest in the Astana studio.
Hello, you're watching Silkway TV channel. I am Anuri Mangali and this is my colleague Daurian Isagulov. Welcome to this special teleconference between Silkway TV channel in Astana and China Global Television Network CGTN based in Beijing. And let me introduce you our guest today, Yersultan Jansiitov, head of the Chinese and Asian Studies program at Institute of World Economics and Politics. He's joined us today in Silkway studio. He's ready to share his expertise on the crucial issues of the upcoming summit of the SCO. Thank you, Yersultan, for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting.
And let me start our discussion from asking Mr. Jansiitov about recent SCO of Foreign Ministers meeting. In short, what were the main issues on the agenda? And based on that, what might we expect at the upcoming SCO summit in Astana?
Thank you. Yeah, of course, the meeting was very important. We can say that the meeting was summing up the one-year work that was done within the SCO. More than 22 documents were signed. And the meeting was like the general preparation for the upcoming summit. As the General Secretary of SCO, Mr. Zhang Min, has noticed, more than 160 events were being held during this year. So I think that the year where Kazakhstan was leading the SCO, it was quite fruitful, and the main priorities for Kazakhstan was transportation, energy sector, and digital transformation. Also, one of the key interests of Kazakhstan is developing the cybersecurity sector.
And let us talk a little bit about the history of this organization. How has the SCO evolved since its creation in 2001, and what have been the most significant milestones in its development?
Well, since the very beginning, there were like the format was 5+1, like 5 post-Soviet countries and China. And now we can see that almost half of the planet, the population of the planet, is in the SCO, and SCO's GDP is equal to the quarter of the world. So I think the SCO is the success story. And we can say that the milestones of the SCO from the very beginning is the mutual respect, non-interference to each other's internal and external politics, and all the countries share the same values like fighting three evils: terrorism, separatism, and extremism.
Thanks, colleagues. I suggest to hear from CGTN now. Jan, given floor back to you.
Thank you, Ainur and Dorian. Now, Dr. Xu, let's pick up the discussion here. What do you think have been the consistent themes from the results of previous SCO summits?
The consistent themes of the previous summit of the SCO are security and development. At the very beginning, the predecessor of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the Shanghai Five, was set up to solve both issues in 1996. Even after several years, in 2017, 2022, when India, Pakistan, Iran joined this organization, with now at this time Shanghai Cooperation Organization already has 9 full members, 3 observer states, and 14 dialogue partners, but the themes still not changed.
So security and
Development.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now let's start with security. Given the rapidly shifting global geopolitical dynamics in the recent years, what do you think have been the most significant challenges to regional security?
Actually, there are four main threats to this organization that are terrorism, drug crime, transnational organized crime, and information security. Among these four main threats to this organization, terrorism is the top priority. Then the confluence of the drug crime, transnational organized crime become more clear, and the widely spread terrorism become more serious for Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
And as you said, development is also a key theme from the results of previous SCO summits. Now, many Central Asian countries have actively participated in the Belt and Road Initiative, which is a developmental cooperation framework internationally. Now, as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization expands its focus from security to developmental cooperation, how do you think these two mechanisms, the BRI and the SCO, will complement and support each other?
Actually, for the past 20 years, all the members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization reached a common consensus that the development is the foundation of the safety, and the safety is the precondition for further economic development. Only through economic development can improve the living condition of all the member states in this region, and also can solve the security issues from the root. And so, after that, in 2012, China proposed the Belt and Road Initiative, and in 2014, at the Dushanbe Summit, the concept of to build a community of common interest and a community of shared future was set up. And in 2018, at the summit in Qingdao, in the final declaration of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the concept to build a common community of shared future for mankind was written into the final declaration. So this Belt and Road Initiative and Shanghai Cooperation Organization could be complementary and reinforced mutually.
Thank you very much for your analysis, Dr. Xu. Now, we'll come back to this later, but right now we have a question for Mr. Zhang Zetov in the Astana studio as well. So we are curious to know how Kazakhstan sees its role in regional economic cooperation, especially leveraging the framework of the SCO.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to say that we see that the world is changing. As Mr. Xi Jinping has said many times, we see the change in the world that were not happening for 100 years. And now we see that the economic development is moving towards Asia more and more. And Kazakhstan is located exactly in the middle of Eurasian continent. So the priorities for Kazakhstan, first of all, is transport connectivity. Like, given the fact that we are in the middle of the largest continent in the world, we need to be interconnected with everyone. The second is energy cooperation. Kazakhstan is strong in exporting energy resources, oil, gas, and uranium. And the third is, of course, one of the most important topics is digital transformation. Today we see that most of the processes are being digitalized. All the businesses are working faster and more efficient. That pretty much forms up the interests of Kazakhstan in SCO. Thank you.
Yes, and I would like to continue on that. As a global player, SCO obviously is willing to expand its influence. Belarus probably will join the SCO this summer. So what other candidates come to your mind, and what would that mean for the SCO's future?
Yeah, talking about the other candidates, I think strong candidates would be Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and other countries from the Gulf states like Qatar, or maybe United Arab Emirates. So we can see the strong interconnectedness of the economics here. China is the giant economy in Eurasia, in the whole world. It's the second largest economy, and it's natural that it consumes lots of energy. So the top priority for the Chinese side is energy security. And those countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and other Gulf countries are really famous and strong in the energy sector, like exporting their energy resources. In that regard, there are initiatives in SCO, like Energy Hub, to developing this kind of initiatives. I think that benefits everyone, especially Kazakhstan, given our location, we're close to China, and Turkey. Turkish leader Mr. Erdogan, he was always showing big interest in joining SCO, being the part of this big family, of the Eurasian family. I think those countries would be like natural members of SCO in the future.
Can you explain more in details what criteria does the organization use to evaluate new members?
The countries should not be hostile to each other. They should share common values, as I've mentioned before, fighting against terrorism, separatism, extremism. They should share the common values like development. How do they see the development in their own national agendas and in the international level?
Yes, and now let me have a question for Dr. Xu in Beijing studio. This year, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi visited Kazakhstan and other Central Asian countries. He had also meetings with officials from the SCO member states. Can we say about specific interest in Central Asia from official Beijing?
Actually, China attached attention to Central Asian states and Kazakhstan very much. Firstly, China wants to have a good relationship with the Central Asia countries, especially Kazakhstan. Secondly, since 2012, China proposed the One Belt One Road initiative, and Kazakhstan and Central Asia are the premier and core region of the Belt and Road initiative. So, without a good development of Kazakhstan and Central Asian states, there would be no success of the Belt and Road initiative. Thirdly, China also proposed the community with a shared future for mankind. And China wants to set a good sample for the world of the community with a shared future for mankind. So that's why China attaches such attention to Central Asia and Kazakhstan, especially Kazakhstan. And that's why the interaction between China and Kazakhstan so actively. Thank you.
Now, Dr. Xu, let's pick up the discussion here. Now, the SCO is distinguished by the concept of the so-called Shanghai spirit. Now, President Xi Jinping has urged all members to embody it while fostering the steady development of the SCO. So how has the meaning and significance of the so-called Shanghai spirit evolved over the years?
The core meaning of the Shanghai spirit means mutual respect, mutual benefit, equality, consultation, respect for the diversity of civilizations, pursue common development. Actually, at the very beginning, Shanghai Cooperation Organization put much attention to the security and development. But after several years, with two enlargement with more and more members become in it. And the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the spirit of Shanghai Cooperation Organization was widely accepted by all these new members and even more candidate members. So that means Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the Shanghai SCO spirit become widely accepted, and the Shanghai Cooperation become a more important international player on the international arenas.
Now let's go into something more specific in the cooperation, and that is currency settlement. Leaders have discussed the need to increase the use of local currencies in the settlement and to enhance the system for using local currencies in international settlements. And some have even discussed the idea of setting up an SCO development bank. So how do you think these initiatives will accelerate regional economic integration?
In a Western-dominated era, US dollar, British pound, euro are the global trading currencies. But after several years, many countries, just like Russia and Iran and other member states of the SCO, became punitive object of the US sanctions. I believe with the global trend of de-dollarization, more and more countries will conduct their currency settlement in local currencies. As for the SCO Development Bank, it has been talked for a long time. At present time, there are two options. One is to expand on the Euro-Asian Development Bank. The other option is to totally build a new bank. As we know that in this region there are not so much international financial institutions, and so a lot of good projects cannot get enough financial support. So I would see more such international financial institution will set up would bring more benefit to all the member states.
Wow, so from security cooperation to financial cooperation, from trade cooperation under the Belt and Road to transportation cooperation, like Mr. Zanzitov has said in the Astana studio, it's fair to say that the cooperation of SCO countries is not only strategic but comprehensive. Now let's give the floor again to our colleagues in the Astana studio.
Thank you, Jan. Mr. Zhensitov, may I ask you this question? Our colleagues in Beijing and us, we already mentioned security threats in the region. My question is, what improvements can be made to ensure collective security?
In my point of view, there are still threats like terrorism in our regions, like what happened in Moscow not so long ago. It proves that there is a big threat still exists. And I think the way to solve that is sharing more information within the SCO countries. So the more the members are informed about what's happening in their own countries and what kind of risk we can see like in the international arena, the more safe we are. And the other thing, as I've already mentioned, is the cybersecurity. Today, the cyber risks are as devastating and as dangerous as like actual military attacks. So we should bring that question on the other level, and we should develop like rules and regulations within the SCO, so everyone could feel safe within the organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Sultan, for giving us this interesting insights on the topic we discussed today. It was a pleasure to have you here with us. SCO Summit will start its work very soon here in Astana. We will be following its agenda very closely. And for now, I want to thank all of our experts and my colleagues for joining the special segment on Silkway TV channel.
Yes, indeed. Our discussion today brought some valuable perspectives on the range of topics related to the present and future of Shanghai Cooperation Organizations. Thank you very much, Jan and Dr. Sui, for your participation for this teleconference. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Einar and Darian and Mr. Zanzitov in the Astana studio. Now, as we wrap up this insightful discussion, it is clear that the Shanghai Cooperation Organization plays a pivotal role in shaping the regional landscape, both in terms of security and economic development. And also, thank you to our guest, Dr. Xu Wenhong. Thank you for joining our program. And thank you to our colleagues at Silkway TV. And this has been Yang Chengxi reporting from Beijing.